Hello everybody. So we have some good old stuff today. They have recently done Etheria Restart, that is, has recently done a Hypertalk episode 2. So inside the Hypertalk, they have said uh some interesting things, let's say. Now, they talked about random things like the generatio of characters and translation issues in the game, but the real meat and potatoes of this game, of this talk, was the new characters they released. Now, they may not seem like a lot, but they are very important characters. Now, we still do not know if they're going to be characters that are on release or if they come a little bit later, but let's assume they're on release. So, here's the first character, Mia. Now, it is a constant, which is the light unit, and she is an SSR unit. So if she's added, we're gonna have yet another SSR light unit that'll even it out. Because right now there's 3 dark, 2 light, I believe, off the top of my head. So it should even it out. Now, what does she do? She does some amazing things. Now, in a vacuum, see, she is essentially the upgraded version of Kraken. She does the AoE freeze. She does delays. She does wounds. Now, on her basic attack, when it's skilled up all the way, it's going to be a freeze chance of 25. Now, with how they've been talking about the application of resistance and accuracy and everything like that, now it's going to be a rough estimate. If I'm understanding everything correctly, it's going to be about double what the activation rate is. So this is going to be about 50% with enough accuracy. Okay, cool. 50% chance of freeze on a basic attack is massive. Now imagine you pair this up with Lily. Now she's going to be basic attacking more often, have a bunch of freezes. Awesome, cool. That's just the basic attack. Now let's look at skill 2. Not even the ultimate. It's going to have the AoE, freeze, and wound. That is big. Now, the freeze chance, what we saw is about 40%, so maybe about 80% chance freeze. That is still massive on a, I believe, 3-turn cooldown, if that's what I was talking about at level 5. 3-turn cooldown on a freeze. Now, if you pair this up with Kraken, that's going to be some good stuff. You're going to be immensely good in Doki Doki if you have Mio and Kraken on the team. You do not have to worry about CC at all. Now, the last skill. It's going to be a steel turn meter. And if you get enough accuracy from what it showed, you could almost immediately gain another turn. So this 4-turn cooldown is going to be more about like 3. Now, this will mean that the speed buff it gives you will only last 1 turn less. In the demonstration, they had Jackal, which give its own speed buff. That might be why, to kind of cancel out the effect of lowering the speed. So she gets 3 turns instead of 2, and then it goes to 2. Something like that. That might be a good play. We'll have to see, test it around, see what good shells work with her. So she's going to give a turn meter steal from the entire enemy team and give a speed buff to your team. So it's going to speed things along. She got an immediate turn on the talk. So that means that she's going to do this, then immediately freeze people if you get enough accuracy on to do it. That is some big boy skills right there. Now, will this replace Kraken? That's to be seen, because Kraken does have more utility, right? Now, we're talking about her. She's just really freeze, turn delay, and buff, right? Now, if you look at Kraken, right? Kraken, he has a lot more going on with his kit. He has defense break. He has deep freeze, which he can then overlap on regular freeze to make them freeze for even longer. That's huge. And we have his AoE freeze that is also a turn meter takeaway. So, would you use both of these together? Yeah, absolutely. On a Doki Doki team, You could have them rotate it depending on how the AI works, I would say. In theory, this is amazing that they work together, but we just have to see how they use everything. If he's going to be smart about his AI and not use his AO3 freeze after she uses her freeze, or vice versa, we'll have to see. Hopefully, they give us some more AI issues and not AI issues, but more fixes to the AI issues. Maybe being able to control when they use their abilities and let us be like, hey, don't use it on wave 1 because this person's going to use their freeze on wave 1. Use your freeze on wave 2. So we can work away from using the Codex of Magic for resets and work more towards a more versatile set of shells. Now, this is not the only character. Mio is not the only character they released. They also released Mizuki. Now, it doesn't really show anything on here, but when we look at her over here, she has a dispel on her basic attack. We have a wound on her W and a AoE dispel on her ultimate. Now, adding more characters to the dispel list is great, especially considering she's an SR character, not even an SSR. So this gives us more characters to work with. We got Viper, we got what's her face? Let's see. Let's go through everybody who can dispel. So we got Mia. Okay. And we got Jouda, something like that. For SRs. Now I may be forgetting things. It is what it is. But for SRs, we have now Mizuki. We got Viper. We have adding more dispels to the list just means that we have a a larger variety to work with. I am totally fine with that. She is essentially, from what it shows, just a dispeller and more wounds. I feel like we did not have enough people with wounds. This is going to be a great character for Terramaton and maybe Doki Doki. Unfortunately, she is not going to be universal because she is a wind element unit, so you won't be able to use her with Aurora effectively, especially at higher ranks. But I am super excited. Now, that was, like I said, really the only important things. They talked about they're going to have different events. Now, they did talk about this, right? It's going to be a big game mode, and it's going to be massive. This is the I believe the Guild v Guild. Yeah, the Union versus Union fighting match. Now, besides the characters, this is really the only big piece of information, and it looks great. It looks massive. It looks like it can really drain some time and really keep you invested into the game. It doesn't feel like a point and click and just kind of leave it like most guild modes are. I'm super excited. Hopefully you're super excited. I can't wait to play this game, to make some great content on this game. And let me know what you guys think down below. I think they're going to have their own place. I don't feel like Mio is really going to replace Kraken. I feel like she's just going to be used in different scenarios. I feel like she's almost more of a PvP type of person, type of CC controller, as Kraken is more PvE focused, in my opinion. Now, they can be used together in both PvE and PvP, but in their own scenarios, I feel like that's where they stand. I feel like she's definitely more of a PvP, while Kraken is PvE. Now, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.